Okay, so this is a kind of a follow-up to the video I put in about putting one picture on top of another. This is a same sort of thing, but just a little bit more detail. Now, so I have one picture. The reason I've chosen this one because it's light. It's a sunny day, and you also have the hair, which is quite detailed hair, and we're going to try and put it onto a night scene somewhere very different. So what you should be able to do is click here and then just move that up. So it goes up, opens this picture and then just drag down and let go. So now you have the picture on top of the first picture on top of the other picture. Now, okay, at this point you would then do, so if you click on the layer, so now if you notice you've got two layers, okay? I'm just going to click on there. So you've got layer one, layer two. You could do it the other way around, in which case you would have, so you can always drag layers on top of each other. So I'm going to click here and then just do edit and free transform. Okay, just to resize the image a little bit. Do something like that. Okay. Now, if I press enter, actually that's not ideal. I'll do it something like that. This is not going to be that realistic because you've got the lady. We're going to try and get rid of the trees in the background. So we have the lady, and we're going to try and make it look like she's standing in New York. It won't be perfect because you have the shoulder bit here, which isn't quite right. But it's just learning a little bit more detail about sort of trying to blend in colours. We'll go into even more detail later on, hopefully. So first thing I'm going to do the quick selection tool. Now I'll just zoom in a little bit down the bottom. Down here, if I'm looking at 50%, I'm just going to drag Photoshop. Okay, I'll do 75, so you can zoom in a bit. So the quick selection tool. So because you have this hair, it's then a little bit more complicated. Now, if something like that happens, if you press Option, then you should be able to, there you go, undo. So click normally. Okay, that looks okay. I'll just click there. Click there. So I'm going to do Option just to uncheck that. Maybe do that bit again. It doesn't actually matter if you don't get the hair. You can kind of add that in after. No, that's gonna option. Okay. So I'll go with that at the moment. Now you click on Refine Edge. Okay. If you then click here and do, say, on white, you'll start to get a better idea of what it looks like. So if I click on here, this is like a paintbrush. You can actually brush some of the bits that you didn't do earlier, so you can kind of go around the edge. You also have, if you click here, you have the erase refinements tool, so you can sort of try and erase some of it out as well. It basically just click, see what happens, so you can kind of refine radius. Just try and refine the edge a bit. Okay. So really, if you're not sure, you just see what happens when you click the brush, see what happens when you click erase. And you just kind of, so the erase you're kind of rubbing away, so you're seeing more of what's in the picture. But I'll just put that back. Okay. So like before, if you did it before, you have the smooth tool. You kind of feather, so you have a soft edge to it. You can kind of, you just see what happens. You can shift the edge a bit, so you start to see more of it. This one here, if there is any reflection, then it should try and balance out the colors. So if you drag here, just click on that one. You also have smart radius. which tries to sort of be, well, the word smart means clever, so it's meant to be a cleverer way of doing the background. Now, if you then click here again and do on layer, you'll see what the picture looks like with the lady. Now, it hasn't done that bit very well. Actually, I'm just going to go back to on white. I don't think it added that shoulder, so I'm just going to, okay, just brush that. Okay. Right, let's try that again. So you click on layers. Okay, it's slightly better. Not perfect because you have this, can still sort of see a little bit of green, but I'm going to go with that for the moment. Just click OK. Okay, obviously not perfect because you have this bit here, this kind of shoulder. It looks kind of odd. I mean, you could maybe even move it down. So that's the bit that we've done. You could maybe move it down a little bit. Okay. Now, you still have the sun, and this is a night scene. So the lady looks like she's in a bright day, and then we're in New York City at night. So you click on the, what you can do is click on the, don't click here, sorry, just click on here. This is created a new layer for you. If you do image adjustments, now all these things here are to adjust sort of the color balance. So I'm gonna just try, say, photo filter. Okay, warm in filter. I'm gonna go for a cool in filter. So then you have this kind of, and you can click on the color. Okay, so I clicked on that blue, and then I'm going to use the eyedropper to choose a blue on the picture, and just click OK. And just try this one, see what happens. So I'm just trying to add, because it's a very bluey kind of scene, the night scene, there's a lot of blue neon lights. So I'm going to click that. It's added a slight blue to her face. I'll just do image adjustments. You have things like obviously brightness and contrast, so you'd probably want to turn the brightness down a little bit. So you're starting to, and you can try contrast. So gradually, the more you're doing it, the more, and you start to see a difference. So you just gradually seeing, you probably won't know what a lot of these things do, but you just have to try them out. So this one is the color curves. Again, I'm sort of just trying to darken the picture, not perfect, but it's probably slightly too blue. But the idea is she should be trying to make it look like she's standing under a blue neon light. But if you did something you don't want to, as long as you have window history open, you just go back, you just click back up one level. And this basically what you do is you just go to try each one. Hue saturation you could try. And you're just sort of trying to balance it so it looks like more of a, so maybe just take some of the color out, and on this one we're just taking some of the light out of it. So you're just trying to blend her in so it's more of like a night scene-y kind of look. So now she's starting to look a little bit cooler. It's not great because the hair still has this kind of shining on it, but that's something we can look at another time. Adjustments, color balance. So you can take out, you can add the blue and the red. So if it was like a, so you can just sort of cool her a little bit. But that's basically it. Let's just see exposure actually. Again, there's lots of different ways, and gradually, just the more you do it, the more you're kind of blending her into the background. So not perfect, but it's just the sort of thing that you'd want to do just to kind of blend something into the background. But that's something we can work on a bit later. I'm just going to click on the layer, this is the background layer. So she's on one layer. This is the background. I just do filter, and I might, sometimes you see something called tilt shift. And that's a nice effect. Okay. And it can, and you can sort of drag it down, but it blurs some of the picture. So you might want to add like a blurred sort of effect. So then what you're doing is almost like emphasizing the lady. So you just, I'll just click OK. Now that's not great, but you're just kind of blurring out the top and focusing more in the middle of the scene. Again, blur, tilt shift. I didn't do a very good tilt shift there. I think what I'll do is probably just drag that down. But this is, again, this is just something you're just kind of playing with. Tilt shift works really well. The idea is that you're kind of blurring out the buildings, but keeping the cars kind of normal, but not perfect. But that's what you would just play around with. You could just blur the whole background, even just click on fill. So you could have something like that, where you're just blurring New York a little bit into the background. Okay, and then you just have the lady in front. But that's sort of a bit more in-depth look at putting one picture on top of another.